Hello everyone and welcome back to Benton Homestead. Today we are over in the garage at the guest house. We were hoping to have the other garage ready for building these bee boxes, but we did not, so we are working over here and getting things ready for the next step at our bee yard. So what Evan is constructing here in our little makeshift temporary workshop are called supers. A super is the box that goes on top of a brood box. The brood box is the bottom box of a colony, and the super goes on top and is primarily where the honey will be kept, besides the honey that the colony itself needs to survive. So each of our colonies is going to get a second box put on top of the brood box, and Evan is working on constructing them here, and then they will be painted.
Alrighty, 3 built, 5 more to go. So we worked until the sun went down yesterday and we got a lot of stuff finished. We're just working on a few of the final touches before we head out to the bee yard today. And this box I installed upside down. There's supposed to be a little ledge routed out here for the frames to rest on. And since I have my own router, I'm just gonna route it out myself. Well, if I wanted it to look good, I wouldn't have done it that way, but it'll get the job done. Here we are at bee yard number 2, and we're going to put our second story onto these hives. So we need to add another box because they've filled up all the space they have available and there's still plenty of nectar to bring in. Now as I put these second boxes on, I am sort of going to do a full inspection, so let's open them up. This colony is a little weak. All the other colonies are full, and this one's only at 6 frames. Last week when I came out and did an inspection, the comb was only about to here, so they are building it out, and that's good. We have a queen. They're just a little behind schedule. I did just kill a wax moth. I'm seeing some babies though, so I didn't see any last week when I last inspected it, so whatever was going on, I think it's recovered. And it's just a little behind schedule compared to the rest of the hives. This is a good example of a frame that they're filling up with honey, and I can tell that just because it's heavy. And if I flip it around here, there's 2 queen cells, and this one looks like the cap's been chewed off. I think that the old queen has found this one and killed her. This one's pretty heavy too. There's some drone cells at the top, but I think they're getting ready to start capping this one off. So last week when I came out and did the inspection, I noticed that they were building this comb off of the lid because I hadn't given them enough frames to build onto properly. So I came out and cut it off and used these rubber bands to put it on here, and they're gradually getting it built out into a full frame. This colony still has plenty of room to grow, so we're not going to give this one a new story either. Here's another frame that's got some honey coming into it, and another swarm cell, so these guys are getting ready to swarm. Alright, this one's filled to bursting. Alright, this is the last hive. We had a weed whacker guy going, so we couldn't talk, but now that he's gone, we're going to go through this whole hive together. So this is one that I had to rubber band back together previously, and as you can see, they've done a great job finishing it off. This is almost all honey except on the very edges, so I think this hive is running out of room and filling in what they have left with brood. So this is the perfect time to be adding a box. Probably a little late actually. Mostly brood on this frame. So this colony is mostly brood, and I'm just putting it back in the bottom box. So I'm trying to put the brood in the bottom box and the honey in the top box so that it'll be easier to harvest. Okay, so this colony has a lot of brood and honey on the same comb, which is not what you want, and I think it's because we are a little late getting the second box in, so they've gone back and laid in brood wherever they could. So what I'm trying to do is get the frames with brood into the bottom box, where they will keep laying, and put the frames with honey into the second box, where they will gather nectar. So as the eggs that have already been laid hatch and those bees emerge, the bees can go back and fill those cells back in with honey. This is burr comb. This is just random comb that the bees are using to bridge the gap between the frame and the hive box, since there was an extra gap here that shouldn't have been here. So I'm just using the hive tool to get this off so that we can have a nice orderly hive. Now we're ready to seal it back up. I'm just going to clean these bees off the edge and plop the new box on top. Japan still uses natural rubber for rubber bands. World War II buffs will know why that is.
So the pretty colors do serve more of a purpose than just being pretty. It also makes the hive boxes easier to clean. And the reason that I'm just wiping them down is because even though we only got our bees moved here a short time ago, these hives have been outdoors and in place since last fall. So the thick coats of paint let the dirt come right off and therefore keeps the wood lasting a little bit longer. And you can tell these colonies are pretty docile based on the fact that we're able to do this during and immediately following an inspection. And we'll be back soon to clean up all these sticks. We're going to rent a wood chipper and turn them into wood chips for our big field, as well as clean up some of this grass that's growing here and get some flowers planted.
So we're left with 3 colonies with full brood boxes and 3 colonies with brand new supers ready to fill up with honey. On to the next. Here we are at bee yard number 1. You can probably tell already these hives are a lot more active, and I think that's because we're in full sunlight and we've got a nice southern exposure here. So these are all going to need new boxes.
We also got to get out here and do some weed whacking and some flower planting.
Well, all 3 colonies at bee yard number 1 got a new box put on top. They are bursting at the seams, and we are just here at the nice lady who rents to us at her vegetable garden that she's letting us use. We've got some corn and some squash and some pollinator plants planted here. Thanks for watching. We should have an orange blossom honey harvest soon, so stay tuned here on Benton Homestead.
Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. We've got our jars and our jar labels ready to go. So these are our Benton Homestead Ōmishima Pure Honey labels. We've got our little Evan and Danny characters there, and our social media, how to get a hold of us. Coming soon to the Michinoeki farmers markets near you, if you're on Ōmishima. This is the top of the jar. It's got honey, our little honeybee character. This will be the expiration date and the amount of honey inside. And we'll also be selling online in an as yet undetermined shop and possibly directly through our Instagram. So we'll keep y'all posted on that before our honey harvest actually happens.